Well, hello, dear viewer, back again, eh? Back again for a beer review. Well, we're off to sunny Chile this time. And we've got a really interesting one because although it doesn't say much about the brewery in here, we do have something about Pisco Wars and even a recipe. If you want to screenshot it, that is absolutely fine. A Pisco sour. Some kind of weird cocktaily type drink. And why am I talking about cocktails and all that kind of nonsense? Well, that is a good question. But it's because of this beer from Bad News Beer Company. Because this is Pisco Sour IPA. And it says with Chilean Pisco. And Pisco is basically like a brandy, like made from grapes, a grape brandy. So yeah, really interesting. And pisco sour apparently is the drink to have when you're over in Chile. So we've got water, barley, wheat, oats, hops and yeast, and pisco. Weirdly, for something that has brandy in, it has only got 4.1% alcohol. And if you look down at the bottom, it says can buy Bad News at Seb Brewing and Packaging, which, guess what, is literally in the next road from my house. SEB Packaging, I live right next to it. How bizarre is that? I even went for a job. I think I've told you before I was going for a job there, but I never quite did. Um, it was for a brewer. It was over COVID time when what's it called? What did they? It wasn't. Oh God, I've forgotten. Where you basically get paid to sit at home, whatever that is. I can't remember what it's called. I was gonna say one thing, but I'd get it wrong. Okay, Pisco Sour IPA. There's a real taste of Pisco Sour in this lip-smacking session IPA. They've said it. Ridiculous. Made with a late addition of Pisco and whole leaf hops to give a balanced marriage of citrus, floral, and muscatel grapes. Wow. Over a lightly sour and refreshing beer base, beautifully balanced, supremely drinkable. A session kind of brandy thing? Who knows? I'm up for trying different stuff. But yeah, it's a sour apparently. I don't know if it will record as a sour because, well, we'll try it first. Bad News Beer Company. I can honestly say I've got no clue who these guys are. Right, let us get this in a glass. Let me do a pressure test. First of all, there we go. And I believe the hops in this bad boy are Mandavaria Bavaria, the Mandarin type hoppage, which will be interesting. Cool, and the gang. Right, so if I do some of that, wow, look at that head, my goodness. So if we've got a big head, we have to do the appropriate big head stare. But you knew that because that's the thumbnail for this video. Oh, look at that. So, oh, 2 fingers, three fingers head, and lovely, lovely, fresh. Look, the bubbles are just going. The bubbles are going up very slowly, which is interesting. There's a slight haze, but otherwise it's pretty damn clear. Lovely kind of off off yellow. That's almost bordering on green, which is ironic because it's got some sort of grape derivative, in this case brandy. Do you remember there used to be those brut IPAs and they had grape juice in them? Bit weird, but and they were made with champagne yeast or finished with champagne yeast at least. So perhaps this is the South American version of that. So very fresh, very zesty, almost kind of a lagery type dryness to the nose. There is some citrus there too, and I'm definitely getting a kind of grapey type thing. This is going to be really interesting, dear viewer. I'm really looking forward to this one. And if you haven't done so already, and if you're new to the channel, please think about, or at least consider subscribing. And it would do me a real favor if you push the like button down below, because most people watch the video and don't push the like, believe it or not. How crazy is that? So do it now. Chin chin. Whoa. Wow. Okay. Wow. Interesting. So there's definitely bitterness and then sourness initially as you come in. Then we get the kind of what I suspect must be the hops, because we're getting that kind of yeah, that fruity, juicy kind of mandarin. It must be mandarin Bavaria. And then the sourness comes back in, but it's not ridiculously lip smacking sourness, like a puckering, or like a lambic thing. But it's reasonably akin to a kettle sour, but it's a bit more dry, a little bit more watery too. Um, yeah, it kind of washes the palate with the sourness, but there's a bit of a creaminess there because it's got the wheat and oats in too. I don't think there's that much in there though, because of the clearness of the beer. Unless they've done a shed load of fining, and why would they? Um, because this is being brewed in SEB, you can almost see it out my window. Um, but what was I going to say? Yeah, they're probably not going to worry too much about filtering and stuff. Maybe a little bit, but not majorly, because they're not an artisan kind of brewery. They're kind of a mass-produced kind of thing. They're a contract brewer, let's say that. Right, let's dive in for some more. They're my local brewery, though, the nearest one to me. Ooh, yeah, sour, bitter, but it's really light. I mean, like I said at the beginning, only 4.1%, incredibly light, really refreshing. It's kind of like with Corona, not the virus, but the beer, when you put a lime around the rim of the glass, or you put the lime in the top of the bottle, um, and when your lips touch the like a margarita kind of thing, touch the edge of the glass, you get some bitterness, and then you drink the lager. It's kind of like that, but the lime juice is in the lager itself, like a top, a lime top. Um, yeah, we're kind of getting close with that, but then you're not getting the sourness. Interesting. Tell you what, though, I don't know if I call this an IPA. Wow, look at the foam, though. Oh, look, there's a sort of elephant thing there. Foam watching. There's some flying things. What's over there? Oh, there's a leaping a leaping cheetah or something there. My God, it's like cloud watching, isn't it? Foam watching or head watching. Yeah, what I was gonna say is the other information which people don't tend to put on their cans anymore. 5 IBUs. How can this be an IPA when it's 5 IBUs? That makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Because yeah, IPAs tend to be heavily hopped, but this one apparently not. Unless they put all the hops in really late with the brandy, with the grapes, Doesn't really say too. Maybe grape skins. I don't know. Maybe they've just mixed the kind of the brandy in. Who knows? But yeah, I think that is really, really interesting, and I quite like it. Bad News Beer Company. Dun dun dun. Focus on there, not on me. Bad News Beer Company with Chilean Pisco. Pisco Sour IPA. Ridiculous. Don't know if you can get that readily available in the UK. Um, and considering they brewed it down the road for me, I doubt you'd ever be able to get it again. But if you can, if you want to look out for such things, or if you were traveling to Latin America and you can get Chilean things, I think they do it in Cuba as well. But yeah, definitely Chile. Why not search it out? Pisco Sour. This has been Uncle Jonah drinking incredibly weird beer, so you guys don't have to. And don't worry, because I'm going to be back real soon for another beer review.